Hey y'all, and welcome back to Coming Into Bloom episode number 2. We are super excited for the second episode. We learned a lot this past week about podcasting in general, had a lot of things that we had to learn as far as technology goes, and we've even had a few issues this morning, but we're here.
We're working through them.
We're working through it, and we are on episode 2. So we're going to get right into it, and we teased last week that there was big news that we were going to announce on this podcast. So we're going to go ahead and announce the news right here at the beginning, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about it in detail.
So the big news is that I don't have 2 dogs and a cat on my own. I actually have a fiance, and he asked me to marry him in May of this year, and we're getting married next May of 2023.
Yay!
Whoop.
So in our last episode, we did our introductions about ourselves, and it was very hard to not talk about Tristan.
Yep.
Because we both caught ourselves like saying stuff throughout the podcast that we were like, oh, don't say that part. So anyways, you're going to find out a lot more about Tristan, who he is, how they met, what their plans are, and then we're going to reminisce a little bit about my wedding 12 years ago.
I was just a baby back then, so I don't remember 12 years ago.
How old were you 12 years ago?
9? Wait, that's not how math works. 11?
11,
Wait,
yeah.
I'm 21.
Okay, so you would have been 9. You were right.
Okay, 9.
Right,
9.
12 years ago, you would have been 9.
I was just a baby.
So
you have a 9-year-old.
I was about
10-year-old?
to say, yeah, Brantley just turned 10. Wow, that's crazy.
That's
and
crazy.
we're also going to bring back this episode. We've got a name for it, Generation Gap. So we're going to talk some, about Gen Z and millennial things later on in this episode. If you like to watch your podcast on YouTube, if you like the video aspect of it, we are recording this for YouTube, so you can search us out at The Flower Shed on YouTube, and you can see the video podcast of this episode 2. And when you get there, you will see that we are dressed in fall today. I feel like we've got on maroon and mustard and like a navy. Yeah.
Some gray.
Yeah, I think we look very fall today. So if you're interested in seeing us and seeing the whole thing take place, you can definitely search that out on YouTube. We are going to jump right into our episode today, and we're going to start it off with the Enneagram. So this has been very popular, I feel like, over the past couple of years with businesses. And a lot of businesses, I think, started out asking employees to take these personality tests so they could just better work together, I think was the purpose. Sure. Yeah. And so me and Caitlynne took our own Enneagram test at, I think it's pronounced truity.com, TRUITY.com. And we will link that in the episode details here. But so I looked up like, why is the Enneagram important and what is it? So the Enneagram is a system of personality typing that describes patterns in how people interpret the world and manage their emotions. It is important because it can help you understand your strengths and weaknesses, and it can tell us why certain things trigger us and how to deal with them. I thought that was very interesting because trigger is like the new thing, that people say that today, like my kids say it all the time, that's triggering. So I thought it was very interesting to learn what it is that triggers you. So I'll go first. So my results came back, and drum roll, I got a 7. This is the first time I've ever taken the Enneagram test.
So 7, lucky number, right?
Yeah, I didn't think about that. 7 is lucky number 7. It says that things that make a 7 angry are clingy or needy people.
That is so on brand for you.
Very on brand. That is so true. I do not like for people who need a lot of my attention, people that need a lot of my input. I don't like people who are clingy, who like want to be like hanging out all the time. And I don't have friends like that. In fact, my close friends that live here, we call and they'll laugh at this when they're listening to this, but we call ourselves shelf friends. So you only come off the shelf when it is time to do something. If you would like to stay up to date on everything that's going on with our farm, you can sign up to receive our newsletter by visiting our website at rollingbranchfarms.com or theflowershedfarm.com. Okay, so it also says lack of freedom is something that makes a 7 angry, and I can attest to that.
Yeah.
I like to pave my own way. I don't like for people to really tell me what to do.
And like we said in last episode, one of your favorite shows is The Handmaid's Tale, where women have zero freedom.
That's right. I couldn't do that.
No.
I couldn't do that. I would be June. I would be the one busting us out of there, because that would not fly for me. And Aunt Lydia, she would not change my mind.
Oh gosh,
with
Aunt
her
Lydia.
stun gun. Okay, the other thing about Enneagram 7 is not having enough time to do things well. And I definitely don't like that. I always say, if you're going to do it the best you can. I don't like to throw things together. So I'd say that's definitely true. Also,
I would say on that, but you do hyper focus on stuff sometimes to get it done.
yeah, it's like this podcast.
Like this podcast. Or my bridal shower.
Yes, I had her bridal shower, which we'll talk about that later too. But I had it like all planned one weekend, I think, when I wasn't feeling so hot and I was in the bed, not I guess sick or whatever. And I had it planned in like a day.
Yes, one day.
Mood boards, everything. I am definitely hyper focused, I would say. Let's see, what was the other thing? Lack of freedom. Okay, we said that. Overly negative people. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And she can attest to this. We won't go all into that, but I can't do it. Like, I'm trying to build something here. I'm trying to build, a business, and I don't have time for your burden. I don't have time for your stress, and I certainly don't have time for your negative comments. So yeah, I just can't be around people like that.
Just like weigh you down constantly.
Yes.
Like if I go through something, she'll be there for me, but I'm not the type of person that I'm going to tell her my woes every single day.
Right. And I am, which is good, because that's part of working together, that we know these things, But yeah, I can't do that. I feel like there's so much negativity around in general, especially when you're running a business or starting up a business.
A small business
at that, locally also. And so just to have people like constantly wanting to pile on top of that, sorry there, what is going on? Something's in my throat. Having people pile on to the negativity that already comes with that, I feel like I don't have time for it. So kick rocks. A 7 also has a desire to experience everything in life, everything that life has to offer, while avoiding pain and boredom, which I pretty much just said. Are you thinking about Christmas shopping yet? Christmas is right around the corner, and our farm fresh citrus and pecans are in full swing. Order a holiday box for someone on your list and have it delivered to their door in one of our holiday designed boxes. The box comes complete with 6 satsumas or navel oranges and 1 pound of shelled pecans, all harvested, packed, and shipped from our farm in Naylor, Georgia. We also have citrus boxes for sale and holiday boxes that include our first ever signature Rolling Branch Farms t-shirt. Pre-order your box today by visiting www.rollingbranchfarms.com. To boredom, I cannot stay seated. Like, I feel like if I'm sitting down, I'm doing something. I feel like if I'm sitting down, something is wrong. And my husband can tell y'all this when he comes on the podcast, but I always tell him, if I'm sitting down, something's not getting done. So it's just very rare that I'm like, quote, bored. I don't know that I've been bored for a very long time.
That reminds me of a job. I worked fast food, and if you leaned on anything, they would say to you, if you can lean, you can clean. So that gives me that vibe 100%.
I think I might adopt that. If you can lean, you can clean. I'm going to tell my kids that.
That's amazing.
I love that. It says that sevens are often very busy
Wow.
people.
I think you are.
And it says they bounce from one activity to another, which I literally just said that. So I would say that Enneagram, this particular test that we took, I can't speak for, the other test, but this test that we took, I have to say, it definitely nailed it.
Yeah, that's exactly who you are.
I'd
sure.
say, yeah. So Caitlin's going to give us her results.
So I got number 3, type 3, and they are described as the achiever.
Oh.
Yeah, so they are success oriented and extremely driven.
Definitely.
I think that is definitely a good characteristic, or a characteristic that I have.
Yes.
They're motivated by their constant need to be successful.
Yes.
Also true.
I do feel like you are constantly like working. Does that make, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you might not be like 24 hours, but I don't feel like your work falls into like a 9 to 5.
No, not at all.
It's like all day, because sometimes it's 7:00 at night and we're texting each other about stuff, or 6:00, when we like to post our reels. So I feel like that's definitely true.
I'm always thinking about work, because honestly, I just love making money, and I like.
Right.
My parents can't help me out a lot financially in college, so I have to work.
Right.
So it's kind of nice to be able to have money in my bank account. So as much as I can work, I try to.
Right. And
okay.
you also have multiple jobs. Did we say that in the introduction?
I don't know if I said that or not.
But yeah, so tell us how many jobs you have and what you do, just real quick.
Well, I was working for a fast food restaurant, but I think they let me go.
We're not sure, but she may or may not have been let go there. But you were doing that.
Yeah, and no, I loved them. If they're listening, they were a great company to work for. I had really great managers, but I changed my part in the company. Rather than being put on the schedule, I was just picking up shifts,
like PRN. Yeah.
Yes. So, but then I wasn't picking up shifts, so I think that they low key let me go.
And too, this past summer she was here, I feel like 24/7.
Literally.
So that probably kind of was an issue as well. But you do have another. So you're here. And then
I work for ABAC, the college I go to, the Georgia Museum of Agriculture. They own it. And I work in the facilities rental coordinator position as a student worker. So whenever there's private events, public events, anything at the museum, I'm there working it. I have to set up, break down, clean. I help a little bit with giving tours of our event spaces. So if you're in the South Georgia area, you need a wedding, bridal shower, baby shower, birthday party, anything, look out for the GMA, because they have really good event spaces, and that's what I do.
And she works here on Saturdays at the UPIC, and 9 times out of 10 she's leaving from here, driving to Tifton and going to the museum for an event or something. So I would definitely say that hits the nail on the head. Hustle for sure.
Hustle, yes. So type 3s never want to look like they don't know what they're doing. Period. And they put a little too much focus on what others think of them. I don't know if I necessarily feel that way. I really like to put myself out there. I'm really big on social media, but also I don't care if people don't like my opinion or what I do. So I don't think I completely align with that. I didn't really find any triggers, but fault that I could have is that I feel like my worth lies in what I can accomplish rather than who I actually am.
Wow.
And
I feel like that applies to me as well. I might be a wing 3.
A wing 3, yes.
Because you can have an Enneagram number apparently and then have a wing to the Enneagram. But I could definitely, I feel like a lot of my worth is in my work, if that makes sense.
Your business.
Yeah.
And then a fear to be worthless or insignificant or to disappoint others. Like I said, I'm not really fearful of disappointing others. I disappoint people all the time.
Right. I'm sure I do too.
But I do not want to be worthless. I want to have a successful life. That's why I work so hard in college.
And you do want to play a significant role. It said, what did it say about to be worthless or insignificant? I think that might be nail on the head, because you definitely strive to be significant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that seems to be true.
And a basic desire I would have is to be valuable. And I think that's true, but in like my very close relationships, because like people that I'm not super close with, like I don't care at all if I'm valuable to them.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's 3. I don't know if I super align with everything like you did with 7, but I think it does help explain some of my personality traits.
Yeah, I think this was a very fun little test to be able to kind of get to know yourself better, and then also for both of us to get to know what our like numbers were like moving forward, you know?
Yeah, working together in the future.
Yeah. So if you want to take the Enneagram test that we took, you can, like I said, go to Truity, I think is how you say it, TRUITY.com, and click personality test and then Enneagram test. That's how you find it. So now we're going to move into what is happening on the farm.
Y'all are pretty busy these days. Every day you're like, sorry, can't talk. I'm in the field. Bye.
I'm telling you, it is. So harvest is upon us. Obviously, this is harvest season. And so we are harvesting right now pecans and citrus. Right now, specifically on the citrus side, just satsumas is what we have. But man, they are coming in. They weren't supposed to be ready till around Thanksgiving. That is definitely not the case. They're ready now. And so I'm just going to give you guys a little update on how the harvest is going. So pecan harvest, terrible.
Really?
Pecans have just, I've never been a fan of them. I don't like them. I don't like to grow them. In fact, I told Brent I wish I could burn every single pecan tree down in this yard. The overhead is ridiculous. It's outrageous. And then the return on all of that is going to sink a small farm like this.
Oh, absolutely.
So we have had to pivot, which is why we have citrus. We let go of so many pecan orchards last year. And so this year, we only have a handful. And so it's fine for us because it's not our main crop anymore.
Yeah.
And then what we've done with the pecans is we've started shelling them out and started, selling that product online instead of shipping stuff overseas. But I will tell you, it is not easy getting a pecan into a grocery store. Even the grocery stores that we have relationships with, it is very difficult to get the product in there. I don't know if they store them dry because it's considered a dry good in the grocery store world. And technically they're supposed to be stored in a freezer. And so the grocery stores, they back up all this stock. And so the pecans that are sitting out there on the shelf are usually not very fresh. They're usually darker in color. And so I don't know if that maybe storing it wrong has kind of ruined them wanting to do local pecans. I don't know what the issue is. If I did, I would be in the grocery store.
Right.
But that's just my personal experience trying to get this out there. And so anyways, what we found is, I think we've got where we're going to go with it, but like moving forward. But the majority of our shelled pecan products are going to be sold online in the holiday box and, in 1 pound, 2 pound boxes, however you want to get those. But I don't understand. It's such a hard sell. Pecans are such a hard sell. I think people only use them around the holidays.
Right.
And then most people are exporting them, over to China. And we were doing that. And they're not buying anymore. They're just not buying them anymore. So if you're sitting on a bunch of pecan acreage, I would love to know what you're doing with them, because maybe we could put ours in the bucket with you. I don't know. But pecans are a very hard sell for me. It's a hard sell for this farm, which is really crazy because that's what
you started with.
That's what we started with. We were huge pecan farmers, and then over the years, not so much. So that side of the farm has not done very well. We did what we could, and I'm sure if you have pecan trees in your yard, the crop is not there this year. It's just maybe for the bigger growers, but for us, it's just not beneficial to get out there and spend all this money spraying and doing all these things when we're not going to get that much anyway. So we do what we have to, and then it is what it is. Our main crop, what has, I guess, made itself our main crop, is the citrus. And so satsumas, are alive and well. They look really, really good in color. They taste great. They're coming on strong. The trees are so heavy, the branches are just like falling down with citrus. People are coming out here picking it, getting, their own satsumas, where we've, I think, sent out 3 semis so far, and we just started last week. So that's amazing. I can sell some citrus.
Yeah, girl.
I don't know what it is, but everybody wants it, and we've got it. So citrus is doing amazing. I love that crop. I think it's definitely, what do you call it? Like a moving forward. Like it's not a Gen Z crop.
It's keystone, like backbone of your farm,
of this farm. Yeah, but I feel like Georgia citrus is like the ahead of everything.
Okay.
Because when you think of citrus, you think of Florida, and Florida has the greening now. And not to say that Georgia won't get it, but I mean, I hope we never do. But Georgia, the state, I mean, people are very interested in citrus here. And we're, 30 minutes from the Florida line.
We're super close.
We're very close to the Florida line. But our citrus is, I feel like, just people are now starting to, oh, what is this? This came from Georgia. Like, I just feel like everybody's starting to figure it out.
Yeah.
And now we've got a lot of people putting citrus in, and then people like in the stores that we sell have started recognizing our brand, which I think is very important, because if our brand's not on it, then I don't know what kind of quality you're getting. You know what I mean?
So I'm from North Florida, so
Yeah.
I'm not super used to like citrus fields like Central and South Florida are. And I remember going to Disney for the first time, and I was riding Soarin'. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I sure do. It's like Avatar.
Yes, and I don't think it's on the Soarin' like video anymore, but you used to go over an orange grove, and then they would spray the citrus smell at you.
Yes.
And I was always like, I want to like experience that in person, but I never have, even being involved in agriculture for so many years. So then when I came here to the farm for the first time, and she was like, and here's our citrus trees, and I was like, I feel like I'm at on Soarin'.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's really cool. And they do the trees also like bud. They put out these white flowers that smell amazing, like after the fruit's been picked and everything. So that's really cool. To be able to be out there and see it, and maybe we'll try to get some photos and videos of that this year.
That would be really awesome.
But yeah, citrus we have definitely become a citrus farm. Pecans are just like go fly a kite. I don't care anything about them. Like I'm over them. But we have them. What we do have, and we do have to sell those. So, and we do a good job.
They're still
with them.
delicious.
They are. The taste is good. It's just hard to sell them bulk, I guess, would be, or a large volume like we used to. And so now we just direct to store. I mean, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, for us, you cut out the middleman. You're getting literally from the farm. It's going onto the grocery store shelf, at least in the stores that we sell to. And you just can't get it any more fresh than that. I mean, that's crazy that we pick it on a Tuesday, and on Thursday it's on the shelf.
That's insane.
Like from the tree to the shelf.
And you would
That's
think
crazy.
a product like that wouldn't get to the shelf that fast, whereas like a strawberry has to get to the shelf that fast because it'll rot or whatever. But
absolutely, yeah,
it's really cool that y'all can do that.
Yeah, but so the citrus side of things is fantastic. I would say I keep looking down because I'm making sure this thing is recording us, and it is.
It had some issues this morning.
We have, and so on the flower side of things, so I have been getting all my seed orders ready, which I'm behind. Yes, flower farmers out there, I am behind. But I'm getting all of that together. I finalized it this week. Valentine's Day is ordered, so it should be shipping in the next couple of weeks. And then we are getting our greenhouse ready. We're planting all of the U-pick fields and the grocery store fields. And then this past week pulled up all of our fabric, all of our stakes.
Oh, okay. I haven't even been out there, so that's
awesome. So all that stuff got pulled up this week, so that we can till everything down and, get ready and get started for next year. So that's kind of the update on what's going on with the farm, we are going to jump into ASMR.
So excited for this.
Okay, so I don't know if you know what ASMR is, or if you have seen it on TikTok, or I guess, is it on Instagram?
Yeah, I mean,
Is it on Instagram? Okay.
It's on everything.
I watch it on TikTok when I've seen it, but I'm pretty sure it's probably across the board on social media. But ASMR is a combination of positive feelings and a distinct static-like tingling sensation on the skin. I have to say, I've never experienced that.
Me either. I wish I have, because people like talk about it like it's legit.
Yes. So let me tell you real quick before we get in, because I think I know where we're going with this. What is the point of ASMR? So the point is, some people have reported that it gives them a pleasant feeling of relaxation, calm, sleepiness, or well-being. ASMR can help your brain shut off, promoting a healthy sleep. And so I think, like, I have never I've never experienced that with ASMR, but apparently there are people that get the
Like a lot of people.
Yes, the tingly skin feeling, or it does help them go to sleep. I just couldn't imagine.
I listen to this calming white noise podcast on Spotify to fall asleep to, but it still doesn't give me like that tingling feeling that ASMR can give people. Like, it helps me calm and go to bed, and I kind of need it to sleep, but not in the way that ASMR does, which is really interesting.
I could not imagine listening to that and trying to go to sleep, especially the ones that talk. So I did a little bit of research on the ASMR, because I was like, what is it? So some of these TikTokers are getting paid $20 all the way up to $300 every single time they go live. And so I was like, who's the biggest like ASMR person? And now I can't remember her name, and I didn't write it down. I should have, but she's on TikTok, and she talks a lot in hers. And I feel like I'm watching something I shouldn't be watching.
It feels a bit wrong.
It feels like an invasion of privacy for sure. Like, when you're talking like this, like, get out of here.
Trigger
Quit,
warning.
Scroll up. But why? But I stay on it. Like, I'm mesmerized by it. Like,
is
I will watch
mesmerizing.
the whole video before I scroll up on it. And then the other ones where they're like, I don't even know if our mics are.
Oh yeah, I hear that.
And then they caress the mic and stuff. Like,
they put
stop
slime
it.
on the mic.
That. I'm like, how is the mic not getting destroyed? How are you getting all that slime out of those little like crevices and stuff? Because you can see them take the slime off, but then I'm like, no, there's remnants in there. There's things in that mic, and you're messing it up.
Your expensive
Yes.
equipment.
Yes. So I'm not a huge fan.
I do
of ASMR.
love the niche of ASMR that is cleaning
Yes.
videos.
Oh,
I think that's a section of it, right?
it is.
I do.
Okay, so I take
dig
it back.
A cleaning video.
I love a good freezer stock of ice.
Ooh, okay.
And I think that's ASMR, because they don't talk. It's just the sounds.
Yeah.
And so they will fill up. So they'll have all these sections like in their freezer, and each section will be a different shape of ice. So they've got hearts, they've got pineapples, they'll have, I don't even know, circles, whatever it is. And they'll dump the ice cube trays into the different sections of their freezer, and you listen to it like fall down on there. Yeah, I'm a sucker for those.
So
Love
you
those.
do like ASMR?
I guess I do, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We love restocking ASMR. That's what you said, right?
You are that restocking girl, though. I think that's why you're into it. Like, if you look in her pantry, there is no cardboard box to be seen.
That's right. Everything goes, and that's thanks to the home edit. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Everything is in those clear like bins or whatever. But yes, I guess that is ASMR, and I never thought about that. Because they're not
ASMR
talking.
satisfying videos, yeah.
Yeah. So another account that I stumbled upon
Oh gosh.
when I was, looking into this ASMR stuff was Men with a Pot. Have you ever heard of this?
Like they're cooking?
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so it's called Men with a Pot. They're on TikTok. They have 11.7 million
Wow.
followers.
I think we have 11.7 thousand, and I'm so proud of us.
I am too. So they're way, way bigger than we are. But well, first of all, I thought it was one. And I could, because in the video, you only see one. So I was like, why isn't it man with a pot? Why is it men with a pot? So anyways, come to find out, it's two friends. They're Polish and they live in Ireland. And so you don't know which one you're getting. You don't know what they look like. Now, if you go to their website, you can see a picture of them.
Gotcha.
But they wear a black hoodie when they're cooking because that's not the focus. The focus in the video is them cooking.
Okay.
So they cook outside by a creek. And then they're either like sometimes they're chopping on like a tree that they
have
you seen this?
Them. Yes.
And they cook in all these wooden bowls, and then on this like they like set up a fire.
Wow.
And put like the grill top over the fire. Like it is crazy. You need to TikTok Men with a Pot.
That's awesome.
And they'll do all these tricks like with the onions and it is so good. But okay, so they don't talk in it. And it's just them like chopping, like you can just hear them chopping. And then you can hear the creek running. And then you can hear them putting the salt like on the meat. And then you can hear them crunch, you know, when they eat the sandwich or whatever it is that they're cooking. Anyways, so come to find out, I found them. And now I am part of the 11.7 million followers and cannot stop watching their videos. And that is ASMR. He actually hashtags cooking ASMR like in his videos.
So cooking and cleaning ASMR, we can both agree on.
And freezer ice.
I don't know how I feel about that.
That's hilarious. Okay, so for those of you on YouTube, you'll see I'm getting a Satsuma, and I thought
She's gonna ASMR a Satsuma peel for y'all.
I don't know why I thought this was a great idea because now I don't know if this mic is gonna work or not, but I thought peeling a Satsuma for ASMR would be appropriate. So if you're on YouTube, you can see it, but if you're not, you hopefully can hear it. So here we go. Let's see. Oh, I don't want it to get in the mic. That will drive me nuts. Oh. You think they heard it?
Yeah.
There's juice everywhere. Oh, did we get it?
Beautiful.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear it. Now you have to eat it. Now you have to eat a slice, right?
Hold on. I mean, I'm trying to peel the whole thing, girl. Hold on. Oh, that was good. Okay, I'm going to stop there because that was so
R in
good.
ASMR stands for Rolling Branch Farms.
Okay, so that was fun. We got about halfway around, and then I'm going to, because now my hands are sticky, and
we didn't think that through. Just
we
don't
didn't
touch anything.
I did think it through enough to bring a towel, but anyways, I'm going to move that back over there. So that was
We're
our
going to pretend
ASMR.
like that never happened.
Right. That was fun. I think peeling a Satsuma or an orange would be, I'm sure there's a video.
You need to reach out to someone and send them your oranges.
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
That is such a good idea.
Put that on the back burner. Okay, next.
Okay, so next is our generation gap. So last week we talked about Cameron Diaz and Cameron Dallas from both of our generations. And so this week we are going to talk about text versus phone calls versus Snapchat. Caitlynne added the Snapchat in.
I did.
I feel very strongly about this topic.
She does.
Don't call me.
She just ate so the mic. Strongly she ate the mic.
Don't call me. Do not call me. I promise you can text it. I promise you can text it.
As you know, for professional reasons, when I first started working here, I called you to learn about my position and stuff.
Yes.
And that might have been acceptable. But if I need to ask her a question, if I call her, I will get fired.
And y'all used to, well, I had another intern here this past summer, and they would call.
We did.
On Thursdays, which was when I was in Atlanta traffic. And I was like, okay, this is great. But honestly, I would rather, I guess, a phone call than to be trying to text.
And drive.
during or in Atlanta traffic, you know.
We should have been better problem solvers, though. At least I should have been a better problem solver.
But also, like, I cannot with people that call and just want to sit there and breathe, or they have nothing to say, or they call and I'm like, you could have sent that in a text. The problem is, this is why I don't like phone calls. I'm doing something 9 times out of 10. So when I get a phone call, I have to pull gloves off of my hands most of the time.
Oh, for sure.
Take headphones out of my ears because now I can't, you know, sometimes it connects, sometimes it doesn't. And then I've got to disconnect the Bluetooth so that you're not coming through the headphones now just to answer your phone call, to stop what I'm doing for you to say, I don't know, the sky's blue, just wanted to let you know. Like, you could have texted me that. And then when I get a chance, I can respond to it. I don't have to stop what I'm doing and lose focus on everything because my phone rang. I can't stand it. I hate it.
So I don't like phone calls only because they make me uncomfortable, not because I don't like to answer them or whatever.
No, I'm uncomfortable too. Yeah, I'm uncomfortable too.
Like, what do you say? Or
Hello?
like, if I have not made a doctor's appointment in so long because I cannot call them and ask
Oh,
for
God. No, I do
appointment.
hate doing that. I mean, I do it, but I don't like to.
If I can't order it online or do it online, I just don't go. I just suffer.
I don't like that. I don't like having to like if somebody calls you and they're like, hey, what are you doing? Nothing. I'm doing nothing. I'm talking to you because I had to stop what I was doing. And then like if I'm making an appointment, I'm like, don't ask me something about insurance. I don't know. Check the file. You know, like, I'm so scared I'm going to get asked something on a phone that I don't know. And then I'm on the spot. Like,
yes. And one thing about phone calls is with a wedding and planning a wedding, for some reason, everyone wants you to call them to book with them. Girl, yes. I don't need to call you. We're messaging on Facebook. You gave me your phone number. I can text you,
or email. I feel like you could put so many more details.
Yes.
When you're booking something like that in an email. Just, you know,
let me send it to you over a text and we'll be good. But they want a phone call, which it's just hard.
Oh my gosh, I can't stand it. So now you tell me about the Snapchat thing, because I don't understand the Snapchat thing.
I don't know if it's a thing, but everyone in my generation, that's how I would say we communicate with each other. Like, I'm in a sorority, and if one of the girls needs something, the first thing they'll do is hop on Snapchat to text me on Snapchat. They won't text my phone number. I don't know. It feels like more casual.
So tell us what all you can do on Snapchat.
So you can text, send pictures that disappear. You can send videos that disappear. You can save them for up to 24 hours, or they'll save automatically up to 24 hours, and then after that they'll delete, or you can save them forever. Snapchat used to not do that. It used to just automatically delete, and it was just gone forever.
Oh.
You can FaceTime, group call. So
okay.
There's a lot that you can do on there.
And what's crazy is I would rather FaceTime.
That is weird.
It's so weird because I don't mind FaceTiming. I'm fine FaceTiming. But, like, I don't want you calling me.
Probably because you can show off, hey, I'm in the field, right. And then they'll hurry up their conversation.
Yes. But so on Snapchat, you can do pretty much everything then.
Yeah, everything.
Okay.
And there's, like, stories, so you can even share to your stories if you're doing something cool. But I prefer Snapchat because if I send someone a message and they have their location turned on, I can see that they're ignoring my message.
Oh.
Or vice versa.
Oh, okay.
Whereas, like, if I text you, you don't have your read receipts on. So I'm like, is she ignoring me? Is she busy? Because when someone opens Snapchat, it updates their location. So you can see that they were on, like, 3 minutes ago, but you texted them 8 minutes ago.
Oh, snap. Okay. Wow.
And I am not like this, but Tristan, my fiance, stalks everyone on Snapchat. He just needs to know what people are up to. He's like, look who's at the bar tonight, or like, look who's doing this tonight. Can I say that? Okay.
I mean, you're of age.
Okay, I am of age. And I'm not like that with people on Snapchat, but if I send you a message on Snap and it's been a few hours, I'll check and see if you've been on, what you're doing.
So is that a thing too, like the whole location thing? Like, do y'all like say, I wonder where so-and-so is, and then you go look to see where they are? Like, is that
to be honest, with our roommates and stuff, yes. Like, they're not at home, or like, maybe they are at home, but we didn't see their car when we came in because our yard's like awkwardly shaped or something. We can see if they're home or what they're up to, or if they're at work. especially with our old roommates, because they had a dog, we could see, oh, they're at the school, we'll just take their dog out for them.
Oh, okay.
Which is helpful without like texting them like, where are you?
You know what's interesting is I'm wondering like what's going to be the thing when my kids, because right now it's the kids messenger.
Okay, on Facebook.
Yeah, they so it's like a face video that you can do. Well, you can text too, but they call each other.
Okay.
And then they set the video up, and then they don't talk to each other or do anything. They just play video games, and they can see each other playing the same game. Like, I don't get it, but that's what they do, like their age. So they don't even really, I mean, they talk, but they have these headphones. You can talk to them through the headphones, but they want to be able to see each other playing it. And sometimes half of the kids have the phones pointed up at the ceiling fans. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, that's weird. I'm not sure. What's the point?
But I'm like, what are y'all doing? Most of the time when I see my kids doing it, their friends, it's the ceiling fans. And I'm like, what is happening?
Just hang up the phone.
Right. Use the headphones. Like, I don't get it. So I'm interested to see what they...
Yeah,
like what will be the
Snapchat,
thing.
or is there going to be something else?
Yeah.
Will they stick with Facebook?
Oh, yeah, maybe, since Kids Messenger is through Facebook. So through your, I think, parents' Facebook page or whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe Facebook will be the new how you call people. Wow. What if they took away like Verizon and T-Mobile and
oh gosh,
it was just Facebook?
Okay, you're getting a little bit too scary here. We're gonna move on.
That would be crazy, right? Oh gosh, I didn't think about that. Okay, so we are gonna move into the exciting part of our podcast, which is Caitlynne's wedding.
Yay!
So I'm gonna let her kind of take it away with who Tristan is, how y'all met. We have some notes and stuff. She's going to tell us details that she wants to share with us, and then I'll just kind of like chime in on what we did when I got married.
So Tristan and I met, we say at ABAC at the college we go to, but really we met through Tinder, which I know sounds bad and icky, but we were on Tinder for the right reasons.
And this is a dating app,
It's a
right?
dating app, yes. Wow.
Yeah, we didn't do that in my day. It was Match.com, and that was it.
Stop. No, it's free. You can subscribe and like pay for Tinder, but I didn't. Like,
wow.
So we started Snapchatting, because that's another thing. When you're like online dating, you don't want to give people your phone number.
Right.
You want to give them your Snapchat or like your Instagram, so that way you can just block forever, and then you never have to hear from them again. And they don't have anything personal information about you, like your phone number.
Right.
So
I like that. Okay.
Tristan and I added each other on Snapchat on October 30th of 2019.
Oh, so Halloween.
Okay. And
or close.
Yeah. Or maybe it was like a few days before, but we hung out the first time on October 30th. And then we went on our first like date on October 31st on Halloween.
Oh.
And he was very shy. Poor kid. And I don't know if you get that vibe from him.
I don't, because Tristan is the one who came up to my maybe we'll tell that story.
We'll tell that story another day.
How Caitlynne got here, but Tristan got her the job here.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. So we need to make a note of that.
Do.
We'll tell that story later, because that's a really cool story. But no, I've never gotten that vibe from Tristan.
So I mean, he was not like super shy. I thought he was a little bit outgoing, but like he was nervous, and I wasn't.
Oh.
But I was the first date that he had went on through Tinder, and he wasn't the first day I went on through Tinder. So
okay, well, that kind of makes sense. Yeah.
So he was just like a little nervous, and then literally from that day, it was me and Tristan. Like, I never went on another date. Like, I don't know, and then.
Y'all just knew.
Yeah, we just knew. And then a month later, no, literally a week into us talking, that term, talking.
Yeah, okay, because talking was one of the things when I was growing up.
Okay,
yeah.
And so a week into that, both deleted Tinder. So we were like pretty steady from the beginning, but we didn't start dating till like a month later in November. And then, 2.5 years later, in May of this past year, he asked me to marry him, which was a awful day. It was not a beautiful story. Have I ever told you the story?
No, I just saw your pictures, because it was right before you started that you got engaged.
So we weren't close. Yeah, it's a story for another day too.
Oh no.
I mean, bless his heart, he tried his best, but it was not a beautiful moment for us. But we're gonna move past that, because the wedding will be beautiful.
Okay, yes.
So a little bit about my wedding. Actually, I'm not gonna give too much information,
Okay.
right? Because I don't want people to like stalk me or anything. But it's in a year, next May, and Lisa will be my florist.
Yes.
We were just texting about it the other day.
The flower shed will be doing all of the flowers, which we do not do weddings. We don't do weddings.
I'm just special.
But because she works here, she knows what we grow. She kind of knows the colors, and so the stuff that she's picked out is stuff that is you already see out there. So yeah, that'll be fun to be able to do a wedding.
And our colors. This sounds really awful,
but it's so pretty.
But it's very pretty. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be pink and orange, which is very different, but it's very vibrant.
Yes.
And when I first told people, they kind of like looked at me very confused because I don't know, when you think of Tristan, he's super into hunting. They're like, you know,
that's
like
true, yeah.
Orange vests when you hunt, like what do you camouflage? And I was like, no, very different vibes from that. It is a very trendy wedding. Mm-hmm. So in 30 years from now, when our kids are like, Mom, why did you do that at your wedding? That's so ugly. I'm like, I know, that was the point. I wanted to be trendy. People now are very into like minimalist weddings and super classy, like timeless.
Yeah.
We're not doing that at all. Our wedding is the total opposite.
We're not doing that.
There's, super colorful. We have a light and airy photographer from Jacksonville who's coming up for our pictures.
What about food? Do you want to talk about the food?
Yes. Okay. I'm very excited about the food.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're having a local Mexican restaurant cater, and it comes with 2 queso fountains for a buffet of nachos.
Yes. Like,
so
we talked
excited.
about this. I was like, can you imagine, like, getting your plate of stuff and then just being able to stick it up under a queso fountain and just cover it. Just cover it. Oh, my gosh. That sounds so good. That sounds so good.
So excited.
Yeah.
And then, what's some other stuff I could talk about? We have a DJ I'm super excited about. We're trying to figure out some of the like little fun things, like a photo booth. You know, we have the neon sign. Everyone does.
What about your hat? Do you want to say your hashtag?
Oh, yeah. So you can.
Which is a new thing. This was not a thing when I got married.
Yeah. I mean, there were hashtags 12 years ago.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah. But not the wet. Like, you didn't do it like, you know, like
wedding.
for your wedding. Yeah.
So my last name is Yeomans, and it's spelled Youmans. And Tristan's last name is Weitzel, Weitzel. So Yeomans and Weitzel, and our hashtag is from you to we.
Oh, that's cute. I love that.
Isn't that perfect?
Okay, so the way these hashtags work is any guests that take pictures, they put that hashtag there, and then you can search that, right? And all your pictures come up. That's the point, right?
That's the point.
Okay.
So
I love that.
A fun thing that we're doing with that is a little I Spy game at our reception. So instead of giving them like a program, something that, you know, doesn't really matter and no one really looks at. I've been to weddings. I don't look at the programs.
Right.
Sorry, guys.
I didn't have programs.
So I'm going to do an I Spy game. So each person's going to get like a piece of paper that says, I spy with my little camera something blue. Okay. And then they're going to take a picture of it. Something borrowed. They're going to take a picture of it. Like that whole thing.
Oh.
Or like a couple holding hands, or the best dressed, or like the prettiest flowered.
And so they're going to take pictures of that, the I Spy thing, like with a disposable?
Nope, just their cameras. Just their phones.
Okay.
And then they're going to upload them with our hashtag.
Gotcha.
And then
That's cool.
Me and Tristan afterwards, once everything settles, we're going to go through all the pictures and pick someone to win $25. We're just going to send them a gift card.
Wow. That's awesome.
Of the best picture.
I love that. Is that everything you want to... Oh, if you want to get Caitlynne anything, she is registered at... Where are you registered?
I'm at Amazon and Target.
Amazon and Target, and you can just type her name in. She told you how to spell it. Her address isn't on there, anything like that, so you go and buy it and just have it sent to her. And
not that I expect it, but it would be very much appreciated. We have some crazy items on there that I do not expect to be bought, so don't think I'm that crazy. But you never know.
I told her, I was like, register for everything because you never know what people are going to buy you, you know? You just don't.
I guess so.
And if you don't put it out there, you definitely aren't getting it.
True. Lisa has this really fancy ice maker thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's on there, but it's a bit pricey, and I know I probably won't get it, but I can dream, and I'll get the discount after.
We're going to do an episode on Amazon finds. So we'll save that for Amazon finds because it is awesome. And sometimes it is on sale, which is still expensive, but definitely worth it if you've been married for 12 years and have nothing else to purchase.
To look forward to.
Okay, so our wedding, we got married on August 14th of 2010.
Wow.
In Macon, Georgia at the Brickyard, which was a golf course. And then we had a buffet full of food. Everybody fixed their plates. My brother-in-law was the videographer or whatever. Aww. So that's hilarious to pull out and watch.
I want to watch it. That'd be so amazing.
Fun. And it's on a disc. I don't even know how you would play it today. It's on like a tiny, not a DVD, like a tiny little like CD, like a mini CD. I don't even know how you watch it.
Never
because
even heard
used
of
to in the laptops on the side, you know, it had the where you would put the disc in, and then it had a spot for the mini, like built into it. So I don't even know how I would watch it, but maybe I should send it off to Legacy Box.
I was gonna say that.
But anyways, so we had a food buffet. My colors were pink and brown.
Oh, pink.
Which is hilarious because so all my flowers were fake. I'm sure that's probably the thing I should talk about is the flowers. They were fake. I had no idea what I was doing. And yeah, I definitely took the like leaves in the boutonnieres and spray painted them brown.
Okay, girl.
Definitely.
That's
definitely
different.
Spray painted the little berries brown. So you could just imagine.
Sorry, if you could see my face.
I wish y'all, the YouTube people are gonna die. Yeah, it looked a little dead because my colors were pink and brown, and I had absolutely no idea, like about different colors of pink. Like, no, it was one color pink, one color brown. The end, and then leaves looked like they were
dead.
Like they were dead. Anyways, that was not a smooth move, but let's see. The wedding cake came from Publix, which I was very impressed with.
Nice.
Publix did a really good job. It was like 3 layers and it had a bee on the top of it. It was actually very nice.
So Publix is a grocery store, and it's only in the Southeast. So just to clarify.
Yes, it is only in the Southeast. But then let's see what else. Oh, my dress came from David's Bridal. So I'd actually bought a dress. I can't remember. I don't think anybody was with me when I bought it. And anyways, ended up halfway through getting a different dress. And the only person that went with me was one of the girls that was taking the Surge Tech class with me. We literally just went to David's Bridal. She was like, "You're not going by yourself." And so anyways, she watched me try on dresses. And then, so I had 2 technically, but they took the first one back and then I got a second one. So let's see. Our honeymoon was in Atlanta at the Omni. So at this Omni, I don't know if they do it anymore, but the one in Atlanta, they had a Range Rover and it took you everywhere, wherever you wanted to go. I don't know if that was because of the suite that we had, or I really don't know how that whole thing transpired, but I know we were taking a Range Rover all over Atlanta, and we arrived in a limo.
Ooh.
And I thought we were something hilarious.
That is hilarious.
But we went to the Georgia Aquarium, we did the Coke Museum, and then we ate at this restaurant called the Sundial, which I told you about when you went on one of the deliveries. It's a restaurant in Atlanta. You ride a glass elevator all the way to the top, and then when you get to the top, it's a restaurant, and it spins around the entire town at night. It is so pretty, but I did have my eyes closed the entire time because I could care less about, you know, getting to the top.
Right.
And then something that I remembered when I was thinking about like stuff from my wedding was the entire time we were at the Omni, Pawn Stars is what was on TV.
That's really interesting. Are they in Atlanta, based out of Atlanta?
No, they're in Vegas.
Like what?
Yes, it was on loop. Like there was literally, I just remember Pawn Stars was on the entire time.
I
like
mean,
every
it's
time
a
we
good
turned the
show,
TV on.
but it's not that good.
Yeah. And so anyways, that was that.
So had you ever been to the aquarium or Coke Museum before, or was that the first time?
We had gone like on field trips, like with
Okay.
the school. But I guess as an adult, that was probably my first time. And it was really cool. Like me
Yeah.
and Brent are, this is like a rabbit trail and we're probably running out of time. But anyways, me and Brent are very fascinated with Georgia Aquarium in Atlanta.
Okay.
So they have a reality show. I guess it's a reality show, but
Really?
it's on Discovery, and I think it's called Aquarium. I can't remember what it's called. But anyways, if you look on Discovery and just type in aquarium, you'll find the show. But it's all about the behind the scenes, like how they take care of the animals, how they transport the animals, what happens when, the animals get hurt and they have to go into surgery. And the facility itself is insane. You would not know that just going to the aquarium.
Yeah.
You would not know all the things that exist
That's really interesting. I
behind the
would watch
doors.
that.
It is so good. It's so good. And so anyways, we've always had like a love for Georgia Aquarium. So, and then the Coke Museum, I think is like 50% off if you
Just gotten married.
Well, no. If you buy tickets to the aquarium, it's like a combo deal.
Gotcha.
So I've been going to the Coke Museum since probably 5th grade. I
Yeah.
mean, we probably took a field trip up there once a year, and so I was not impressed with it. I mean, it was nothing new, but the aquarium was pretty cool to go like as an adult. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Tristan, my fiance, is from just outside of Atlanta, and that's where he grew up. So he's been to the aquarium and Coke Museum plenty of times.
And he also tell them what he majors in, like what
Oh,
he's going to
yeah,
school
I
for,
guess
because
I
that
didn't
kind
really
of
talk
goes,
about him all
that
the
goes
time.
along with.
He
his
is a
major.
wildlife management major. So basically, his dream one day is to work in the private wildlife management industry, managing someone's property somewhere privately. But
And so that
immediately, I
kind of
don't
goes
know.
with it, like
Yeah.
him liking the aquarium and stuff. He's into all that kind of stuff.
Wildlife.
Yeah, wildlife. There you go. He's into wildlife.
Fishing.
So
I'm not, but so like I've just never been there. So for me, that would be cool. But Tristan,
yeah.
he would probably say never. We would never do that for him.
right, I know. And the thing was, I had class that Monday. So we had to find something because I had already
Close.
taken off that Thursday and Friday. And technically, in Surge Tech world, when you're in school, you are not allowed to miss any clinicals. And so I had missed not only a clinical, but also a class day.
Yeah.
Which the class day was fine, but the clinical, I mean, I remember that being something, having to get it like, approved or whatever. But so yeah, we had to find something that we could go and do, and then I could be back in Albany on Monday morning.
Wow, love that. As a married woman.
Yes, it was crazy. So there was not a lot of pomp and circumstance. Is that the?
I don't know what that means.
Oh my gosh, that means there wasn't a lot of like crazy elaborate things that happened when I got married, but it really does. I personally don't think it matters either way. If
You're
you
married.
if you have a big wedding or a small wedding, or
You go to the courthouse.
if you go to the courthouse, whatever it is you do, at the end of the day, you're just as married as the person who had the big wedding or the small wedding or whatever, and it all boils down to that one like moment anyways when
Yeah.
you're saying your vows. So all that planning and stuff that you do, I mean, it's kind of irrelevant. You know what I mean?
kind of is.
When you think about it. I
Way
mean,
to
it's
crush
definitely
all
nice.
my hopes and dreams.
Right. It's irrelevant, but I think at the end of the day, I mean, it is nice to
Yes.
like be able to celebrate it and do it with friends and family and have a big meal and something good like that. So I definitely think, well, I'm excited for it, and I definitely think you guys have planned a great event so far.
Yeah, I didn't even tell you guys the quarter of everything we have planned.
Right,
So there's
right.
so much more. And
Well, there's going to be
so
some fun
excited.
things in there, and then maybe we'll talk about after the wedding. We'll do like a
Yeah.
special little like
Recap.
yeah. So then you can give all the details you want
Nice.
to. So I'm going to go ahead and do the quote of the day because Caitlynne did it last week, and this kind of goes along with our wedding talk. But the quote is, "Love is like wildflowers. It's often found in the most unlikely places."
And that's so true because I did not think I would find the love of my life on Tinder, a dating app.
Right. So I didn't say how me and Brent met. So I had a roommate years ago. Her name, well, maybe I shouldn't say her name. I don't know if I should say her name. Anyways, I had a roommate, one of my friends, and I introduced her to the man that she is married to today. And so I moved out, and then we kind of lost touch, and I had not talked to her in Oh my gosh, probably she could quote me on this. She would be able to tell you probably, but I would say 5 or 6 years we had not talked. And so I was already in Albany. I was in Surge Tech school, and I got this text from her, and she's like, "Hey, I have a guy for you to meet, and it's I don't want to say her husband's name either, but it was her husband's brother." And I was like, "Back up. I introduced you to your husband. What you mean he has a brother? Who's this brother?" And so she tells me who he is, and I knew his last name, and I was like, ain't happening. And so anyway, she gave him my number, and he had called me several times, and I thought he was a
like a spam caller?
Yes, a spam caller, because at the time he was in top sale, and so he didn't have the area code or anything. And so I declined it because I was like, who's this that keeps calling me?
Oh, wow.
And then I finally answered it and realized, like, oh, whoopsie.
It's the guy I'm courting.
And then, anyways, long story short, she is still married to, my roommate is still married to her husband today. And I am married to her brother's stepbrother.
That's crazy.
So it is very crazy. It is so crazy. Like me and her have known each other over 12 years.
Yeah.
Because we lived together first, and we were friends and all of that. And then I introduced her to her husband, and then a couple years later, she introduced me to my husband, and now we see each other Thanksgiving, Christmas. Like, it's crazy. And our kids are all pretty close. They're all boys. So she had 2 boys. I had 2 boys. They're around the same age, and so they play their video games together. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
It was a full circle like moment.
It's very organic. Like, I did not have that experience with Tristan. I was just like standing outside the freshman dorms waiting for a guy to come pick me up in his Bubba truck.
So I would definitely say that was unlikely.
Yeah,
it was an unlikely place, because I had not spoken to her, and just out of the blue, she thought, well, he was getting out of the military. And she was like, well, it's going to be like May or June. Well, we got married in August, so
quick turnaround time.
Obviously, we met prior to him getting out of the military, and then we were married. He had only technically been out of the military 2 months when we got married.
You were ready, though, girl.
And I wasn't even supposed to meet him until like June.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
But
that's a whole nother podcast. I guess you're right. So we're gonna kind of wrap it up with our name 5 game. I'll let you draw it.
I get to draw it today. Okay.
Sure.
Name 5 package delivery services.
Okay, package delivery. Package delivery. So UPS.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll let you go.
USPS.
Okay, that's 2. FedEx.
Okay. Amazon is a package delivery, right?
I think in not our area, but I think in areas you can order on Amazon and have it there in 2 hours.
Yeah, like cities.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Amazon is because I know in Atlanta at the grocery stores, I'll see the Amazon people pulling like groceries.
Yes, I remember that.
And then they have to have it delivered in 2 hours. So they have like all this special parking in the back and all that. So yeah, I would say Amazon's a package delivery.
Okay. Yeah. And then I think I just said the last one, but also I would think DoorDash.
DoorDash, yes, because they are definitely delivering you a package of food, right? That's all they sell is food.
Well, yeah, they pick it up from the restaurant,
right,
and bring it to you
and give it to you.
But I DoorDash to make some extra money last
summer. Also, not in my area.
Yeah, no, it's not here.
That would be so dangerous if I had access to food like that. Ooh.
Also, DoorDashing was dangerous. Just doing it,
yeah,
it was kind of spooky.
Well, no, I meant like financially.
Oh,
like I would be doing it like all the time and probably spending thousands of dollars.
Could you
on
imagine
groceries.
if Naylor had a
Girl.
DoorDash? Get your Subway straight to your door.
Not your Subway. Or we do have a restaurant in Memphis. It's the local restaurant.
Yes.
I'd probably be DoorDashing that all the time. And then we have.
You can also go get like Dollar General and stuff. DoorDash.
Really?
Yeah.
Like you have to get food.
No.
Or just anything
like
from Dollar
Band-Aids
General
or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be dangerous. Because don't you have to pay a fee?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I'd be broke. I would be broke if I didn't live out here. That's why Brent moved me out here to the country.
That's why he moved you out here and started the farm.
Because he knew. He was like, I can't let her have access to the city and the city things. Okay,
city
so
things.
that pretty much wraps up episode 2. This one was kind of a long one.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
But that's okay. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit real quick about our holiday boxes that we have. So they have launched. They're on our site. They're live. They have a pound of shelled pecans in them and 6 satsumas. You can also get a navel box, a holiday box, and then our signature farm T-shirts are also going to be in some. You'll see them on the website. They have not launched yet. So we do have those. We have shelled pecans that you can purchase, and we also have just boxes of satsumas if you would like to get 5 pounds of that, or a smaller, I think a 3-pound box is the other option. So you can do any of that. But also on the holiday boxes, if you are a business, we offer bulk pricing. So if you have 5 to 10 employees and you want to give them all something for Christmas, this is a great option. We've had several businesses that reached out and did that last year, so we just put bulk pricing up to knock that out of the way. And then also our shelled pecan halves and pieces are now available on Amazon. Yay! You have to scroll, so you have to go to page 15 to find it. But hopefully we will get that fixed maybe before this post. I don't know. But if you type in on Amazon Rolling Branch Farms shelled pecans, you should see it pop up. You can purchase it on Amazon now, so that's exciting. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and leave us a review, rate the podcast, and then also at the end of the podcast we'll have a list of all of our social media handles so you can follow the Flower Shed or Rolling Branch Farms. Have a good week.
We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, episode 3.
Bye.